Leo, you have an interesting application named Conrad for everyone in the real estate space and have a good amount in marketing background. Now, my audience is real estate agents and brokers primarily. So why don't you give them a quick synopsis? What does your app do and why should they consider using it?
So I think the most important part of this whole thing is that right now, when you send a referral, there's no way to track the value you've added in the real estate world, which means that there's no way to reward that because you're putting value into it. And like I said, it's not only about deals. I just think that right now, the way that referral networks work and social media works for realtors is just, it needs to be tweaked. But something else that I noticed was that a lot of realtors, and maybe you noticed this too, oh, I want to make a second Instagram for my business. I want to make a second, they don't want to use their first one. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just have to stop fighting. Like I try to tell them, use your personal. But at the end of the day, it's been a decade. Maybe they have a point. Let's build a social network that they feel comfortable speaking about real estate, having their personality, and it actually is rewarded. It's meant for that, you know? Because they're always going to say, I want to make a second Instagram. You know, you wouldn't say startups need more software. Startups, there's so many things that startups use that are just there's so much startups out there, but you would say, I think realtors need more software. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel. So that's why we can go crazy with the ideas, where we probably will do a lot of these great things, but we just want to follow user feedback. That's what helps me. You can probably even tell my personality. I can just idea. So I have to stay the course with the user feedback.
Before we begin the podcast, I have one small favor to ask. If you could hit the subscribe button so that we could reach more real estate agents every single week. Leo, you have an interesting application named Conrad for everyone in the real estate space and have a good amount in marketing background. Now, my audience is real estate agents and brokers primarily. So why don't you give them a quick synopsis? What does your app do and why should they consider using it?
So I think the most important part of this whole thing is that right now, when you send a referral, there's no way to track the value you've added in the real estate world, which means that there's no way to reward that. And value isn't actually only sending referrals. It's educating other real estate professionals. There's a lot of ways to add value. And now I'm making this short explanation long, but it's important to understand that there's no way to track the value you've put into the real estate world. There's no way to reward it on Conrad using our algorithms on our social network that's made for real estate professionals. All the value that you put into the network, you now become more popular and more likely to get referrals from the entire network. So that's Conrad in a nutshell and why realtors should care about it.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting with the referral concept because a lot of people, you either get lead gen companies that just bring in referrals for you, or you just give out referrals if they're not in your area.
Yeah.
And so now you kind of get that reciprocity back.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. Like, you're giving out these referrals, and yeah, agent to agent, you can make commissions, but sometimes loan officers or something like that, there's so many different professions. There's many real estate professionals that you should become more visible if you're putting value in. It's not that you're going to get a deal back guaranteed because you sent a deal, but you should become more visible to the network. You should become more popular on this network because you're putting value into it. And like I said, it's not only about deals. I just think that right now, the way that referral networks work and social media works for realtors is just, it needs to be tweaked. And there's a reason why realtors and mortgage professionals have struggled. I mean, there's 1% that don't struggle and they do amazing, but the vast majority of them struggle on social media. I really don't think it's designed for them. That's just my take, that it's not designed for them. And we built a network that is designed for them because we watched and studied them for so long. And I was one. I am a licensed realtor. I just don't, right now I'm so focused on Conrad that I don't say that, hey, I'm a licensed realtor. And also out of respect to the realtors that are really full-time realtors that are very knowledgeable and great realtors, you know. So I'm licensed and I understand it, but more on the marketing side, the technology side, I was just studying the way that the industry works and ways that we can add value for them. Because if you add value for people, then good things usually come in return. That's what we try to focus on. That's how Conrad was born, just by trying to add value.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. So, I mean, we kind of know what Conrad is, like how the referrals work, how we're trying to build up in the real estate space. But how did Conrad come about?
So Conrad, it's one of those things that it comes naturally. It's not forced. It's not like we just had this idea that popped in our head. me and my partner Valentine were working at a mortgage brokerage, and we wanted to add value for the loan officers. That meant adding value for their referral partners as well, and adding value. And we try to make these portals, and we tried different things. And the point is that one of them just got a bunch of signups. It was just kept getting signups. We didn't try anything SEO. We didn't run any ads. It was just getting signups every day. We're like, why is this thing getting signups? Because in our minds, we didn't even build it well. It was just like an idea thing, and it kept getting signups. What that eventually, that was called the partner portal. That eventually was spun into Conrad, like a totally different company, a totally different entity. It was just for referral partners to really like track their referrals, maybe get some flyers. But when you start with like tracking the referral, you have to think about, oh, they have to send the referral through here. They have to get this through it. And then we just built and built and built and built. And that's what Conrad is today. And then probably in 3 months, if you speak to me again, there's going to be another evolution of Conrad. So when I answer the question, like, how was Conrad born? I don't really want to lie and act like just in one day, this thing just popped in our head. It actually was just constant iteration from feedback we were getting from the real estate world, and just continuing to like make valuable things for them. If they say it's valuable and they like it and the data is saying they like it, then let's just keep building on it and see what this network can become.
Yeah, no. I love it. So with Conrad, you say it's also a social network. So we segmented from like referrals to social network. How are we trying to morph those two together? Because I know I've been playing with Conrad quite a bit, and there's almost like you have the feed of Conrad and you can just post it to everyone. Like, hey, I saw this. Who's looking for this? You know, all that, and you can send referrals.
Sorry for cut you off. Yeah, sorry to cut you off. And also, you lagged for a second, but I did hear what you said.
Okay.
So I think there's a problem with referral networks in that the reason why a lot of don't get me wrong, there are some like big referral networks in terms of like revenue and things like this and size, but I just think there's no referral network that really makes sense in that, and realtors really care about, because why would I, like, if there's a client that I value or a relationship that I value or something, why would I want to send through a referral network where I can barely even know the referral partner I'm sending it to? You know, the reason why the feed and some of these things exist is because we have to date before we marry. You know, and I want to build my profile on Conrad. I want referral partners to get to know who I am. And the most important thing, it's not the most important thing, actually, that was the most important thing in my opinion, is the networking before sending the actual business. But something else that I noticed was that a lot of realtors, and maybe you noticed this too, oh, I want to make a second Instagram for my business. I want to make a second, they don't want to use their first one. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just have to stop fighting. Like I try to tell them, use your personal. But at the end of the day, it's been a decade. Maybe they have a point. Let's build a social network that they feel comfortable speaking about real estate, having their personality, and it actually like is rewarded. It's meant for that, you know, because they're always going to say, I want to make a second Instagram.
Yeah, I agree. That's even something that I personally struggled with.
Exactly.
Right. Like, do you delineate work and personal? Like, because a lot of times your friends don't really care, but in real estate they do, which is the weird thing, because a lot of them want to work with you.
You know, the real answer is, I mean, not the real answer, but something I noticed is like, do we even know what the perfect formula is? Like, because sometimes LinkedIn doesn't feel genuine. Sometimes it does, but sometimes, I don't know. Everyone has a different platform that they like, but I just don't know what the perfect answer is. How do you behave on a professional app? What types of things do you post? Because I actually think you should be yourself. So it's kind of, it's like I don't really know. It's a tug of war, and I don't blame people for being a little bit confused about it either. But my take is always going to be, just be yourself. That's usually a good thing to like across the board. I'm just going to be myself. Usually a good thing to think.
Yeah, I agree. I would say like you can even, like I personally got in trouble on LinkedIn recently for that. Like, I don't know if you went through my feed recently.
I didn't see what. Yeah.
Okay. A week and a half ago, have you ever heard all the real estate brokers who are like, oh yeah, Zillow's like Coke for your business?
I haven't heard that phrase, but like I know they use Zillow, like Zillow leads and stuff.
Yeah. So a common thing with a lot of real estate brokerages is they'll say like, oh, Zillow's like cocaine for your business, because it's a quick fix, right?
Yeah.
pumps up your business really fast. You get a ton of leads really, really fast, but it's also expensive. And so I made a joke about that on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Did not go over well whatsoever.
They
So
banned it?
they didn't ban it, but people did not like it. I'll put it that way.
Oh,
it was
okay,
very
okay.
mixed bag.
You
So
know,
it's one of those where, especially with real estate, do you A, show off your personality and isolate a bunch of people? Or B, do you appeal to everyone?
you're frozen. I don't know if you can. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if it's my connection or I usually am fine, but maybe it's mine. But I hear you now, though. You froze when you were speaking about the LinkedIn.
yeah,
part.
it's really, really hard with a lot of stuff like that. And I understand why a lot of real estate agents are wary about that.
Yeah.
I would say, at least in my experience, it doesn't seem to matter that much.
My take on these types of things are, well, for first, I give credit to social networks trying to moderate things, only because no one knows how hard it is besides the people that are actually running it. And think about like having millions of posts every day. There's not a manual human going in and like trying to, and even if it wasn't, it's just hard to figure out what do I take off and what do I keep on. And that's why I said that LinkedIn ban you, but you said some people didn't resonate with it. To be honest, my take on social networks is like, post what you want as long as it's not like wild, like some these totally like left field things. Post what you want, and if the people don't like it, then that was on you. The people don't like it, It's like if I go in a room and start saying something, they're going to tell me, bro, what are you talking about? That's fine. It's the same thing. So I kind of like that type of dynamic when it comes to like posting and how the platforms go about it.
Yeah, the food for thought there as well is, even if people don't like it, they dislike it because you're being you.
Yeah, it could happen.
So the people who dislike it are the people you don't want to be friends with anyways.
Yeah, that's usually a good point. Like I think in most cases that makes a lot of sense where it wasn't unfortunately the algorithm showed you to the wrong people. Maybe it depends. Like you go case by case, and I don't even know. Like it depends post by post. But yeah, I know what you mean, and I agree with that.
Yeah. What I know, you have quite a bit of marketing experience.
Yeah.
And you're a realtor. What's been your experience? How were you generating leads? How are you getting clients?
So I'll be honest. In terms of generating leads for clients, I generated leads for other people. I wasn't really concerned. I was never really trying to be a full-time realtor. I got my real estate license for another idea I had, and I was just so involved in real estate that it ended up being like I can get a deal here and there. I was generating leads for other people through Meta primarily, and the leads I did generate for myself, actually, I didn't even generate them. It was my brokerage that was giving me leads. And I think it's pretty cool that brokerages do that. Sometimes leaving people on an island, like someone being left on an island, they don't realize how hard it is to build up, let's say you have no knowledge about running ads and you don't even know how to build a website. You just got your real estate license. And then you have to learn how to do that versus someone that just goes in a brokerage and the broker is giving them leads. I'm not saying like anything bad about them or they did something wrong. I just think people don't realize, like, if your broker is giving you good leads, you should probably be pretty grateful for that. It's tough. It's tough to build things from the ground up and learn how to get leads and text people and then qualify them. And then you have to make the first call and then the follow-up call. And then if they don't answer this call, and they're like, all these different dynamics of it are pretty tough.
Real estate agents, you're throwing qualified leads into trash. And I'm going to give you the exact solution to fix it. Your Google My Business listing is one of the best ways to get high quality inbound leads without ads, social media, or an expensive website. But most agents completely ignore it. Meanwhile, some of my clients are generating as many as 50 qualified leads a month on autopilot. Take Legendary Real Estate, for example. In just 2 months, they 4x their Google My Business listing interactions. That's calls, website clicks, and directions to their office. Yet so many agents are out here grinding on social media, wasting money on ads, and struggling with their website, all while ignoring the easiest lead source they already own. The best part, you don't need to do any of that. You just need 15 minutes a week and the right strategy. I've seen plenty of Google My Business Listing courses, but nothing that works specifically for real estate. So I built you one, a Google My Business Listing course for real estate. And before you say, oh my God, he's just another course guy, listen, it's free. I'm giving you it for free. There's no paywall, there's no upsell, there's no catch, okay? Just the real tactics I use every single day to generate my clients' leads. So if you want to get the course, just drop me a follow. It's the link in bio, all yours, again, for free. So that being said, I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that's one of the things I see a lot of agents struggle with is actually that follow-up portion. Because a lot of agents, a lot of agents know how to generate leads, but they don't know how to follow up.
Yeah. I think what also, if we can accomplish this with Conrad, because, you know, on Conrad, you send the referral and you're exchanging referrals, right? So that's, why not manage it on Conrad? You know, and to be fair to the realtors, I'm not saying there isn't, but is there a great CRM out there that really is catered to them, that really, like, they all have the same problems, right? So it's clearly not like one person's fault if many of them have this problem. Maybe there's not something that is catered for follow-ups. Well, maybe it doesn't help them well enough. And if we could accomplish that at Conrad, that would also be very big on the app, because my personal opinion is there's some good stuff out there. There's good software, but I think we can do better, a lot better. And now you're talking about AI becoming more accessible and easier to use, and it becomes very interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how you guys manage making sure people follow up on referrals.
You know, the problem with following up on I always try to see it in the salesperson's eyes as well. Because, you know, when you're like the person giving them the leads and then the person managing the leads, sometimes you could butt heads. Sometimes you work perfectly together, but sometimes you could butt heads. And seeing it in their side is like, I have like 50 people to call. I have hundreds of leads based on the 50 people to call. I think instead of like resisting that, like bumping heads with realtors on that, I think, you know, AI is getting pretty good. I mean, there's some even voice agents that are just highly impressive. And why can't the AI read the conversation and say, I need to follow up on March 3rd, let me call. And then when it's time to pass to the human, it should pass to the human. You know, I just think we're going to keep saying, oh, follow up is hard, follow up is hard, follow up. No one follows up, and we can complain all day, or we can just help them follow up and like actually make it like progress past that obstacle.
I agree. Yeah. On Conrad, I could definitely see almost like an education side of how to follow up with referrals. Yeah. That would be really interesting because you have the social network aspect.
We play with ideas of, you know, every realtor has their formula, and especially the successful ones. And there's some really interesting things that some people do. And we played with the idea, and it doesn't mean that we won't do it, with those people educating other people on the network, you know, because the network, it's really not, we're just giving you the app to use. It's you guys who build it. And, you know, let's say the seasoned realtors are educating the less seasoned realtors, and they get points for that. You know, that's value added. So you're adding value to the network. And, you know, maybe we can have that type of thing happen. There's a lot of ideas we play with.
Yeah, you could do, you know how Zillow has like transactions per year?
Yeah.
Or like in the last 365 days is how they do it. You could do something like if you have over X transactions in the last 365 days, get points by running like educational stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like sometimes I could tell you have the personality, I have the personality, and sometimes you can just come up with all these ideas. But it's also a good thing, though. I just think you have to follow what users want and user feedback. But it's a good thing because I think real estate especially is a space where, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I feel like the realtors deserve a better software for them. You know, you wouldn't say like startups need more software. Startups, there's so many things that startups use that are just like, there's so much startup software, but you would say, I think realtors need more software for them. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel. So that's why we can go crazy with the ideas, where we probably will do a lot of these great things, but we just want to follow user feedback. That's what helps me. You can probably even tell my personality. I can just idea. So I have to stay the course with the user feedback.
Yeah, I love it. I wonder if it's not necessarily realtors need more software. They need more unifying software.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. I think I know what you mean. Explain what you mean by that, though.
So, like, I'll give you a good example. I was talking to the Minnesota real estate team yesterday, Ryan, the owner of it, and he's like, "Yeah, we use this software, this software, this software, this software," and between all of his agents, he has like 4 CRMs.
Yeah, you see, that's what I mean. Yeah. So it's not like you're right. It's not more software like you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just need that. You just need Conrad. That's what you need. You need to get rid of the other ones. You just need Conrad. But yeah, I'm kind of joking, kind of not. But I know what you mean. I agree. Like unifying software, you're so right about that. That's a problem. That's a big problem.
Yeah. Because even one of the local brokerages by me, I think they have 12 agents right now. They have 2 CRMs.
Why? It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Have you asked them why?
Well, they were, from my understanding, the reason why they have 2 is one is for, like we were talking before, there's hand raisers and there's non-hand raisers. And the logic is the hand raisers are the ones that are responsive, and you have the non-responsive ones that are on like the long term. So the non-responsive ones are on one CRM, and the responsive ones are manually added to the other CRM.
Yeah, I mean, people have their way of managing things. I mean, I don't know. I think you could always there's some great CRM, there's some good technology out there, but I understand like people have a hard time, and then they justify it in their head, and then they just keep paying for the software subscription, and they have it there for so long. But it is a problem, though. It definitely is a problem that's how it is right now in the real estate world. Everyone uses different CRMs. Everyone has different lead gen companies. Lead gen is fine, but like, you know what I mean? It's just scattered. It shouldn't be so scattered like that, in my opinion.
I agree. I feel like every brokerage that I work with, I'm learning a new CRM.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like, isn't that should it be like that? I don't know. Maybe it should be like that. But what do you think?
I think a lot of the CRMs are good, but they're good for different reasons.
Fair.
So I'll give you a good example. KV Core is really like 80% on everything, right? Like it's not an amazing website, but it's pretty good. It's not amazing follow-up, but it's pretty good. Then you have like Follow-Up Boss, which is really good at follow-up. Mm-hmm. Then you have CRA Interactive, and they're really good at websites. And so like you have a bunch of different options for different things.
I respect that though, because, to give credit to all of the companies that, are successful enough that, because I've been saying bad things about real estate software, not bad, but just, constructive criticism. And in respect to those companies, it's hard to get, it's like easy for us to say this, but they get really good at the things that they're really good at. And that's why they have tens of thousands, some maybe even 100,000 subscribers to them, because they're really good at this thing and people really like using it for that. And that's also a good thing too. If people are using multiple softwares for the same thing, that's probably worse. If they're using it for different things, I don't know. It's hard to say,
Yeah, like if you have a Zapier flow, context for agents that don't know, Zapier allows you to connect a bunch of different things super easily. Zapier breaks all the time.
Yeah,
so
I know. My partner
like
always struggles with that.
Dude, it's so bad. I have some brokerages where I check every morning if the Zapier flow is still working.
Yeah.
Because it just breaks so often.
Yeah, I know. And then you have to that's why it's tough. It's tough. Sometimes it's nice, and I give credit to our software engineers here. You have to take things seriously. It's not that you're not taking it seriously. Let me be careful how I say that. It's that Zapier breaks a lot, man. It's hard. Think about it. How can you scale something if it's just always breaking every day? And like you can't continue to grow. It's hard. It's just not, I'm very much of the school of like sometimes you have to grind it out and make it work, but it's also just difficult to build big things if it's always breaking.
Mm-hmm. It's difficult to build good things in general. I think your software guys are really, really good though. I come from a programming background. And so it's built on React, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes, the answer is yes, but I know that there's more things involved,
Yeah, I think it's React and Angular. Yeah. Dude, it's built beautifully well.
Thank you. Well, not thank you to me, really to them, but yeah. Guys, he said the software is built beautifully well. They said thank you.
Yeah, I think it's really, really good. So I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you even seeing Conrad and saying, oh, I want to talk to this guy, I was interested in doing real estate podcast And even just watching what you sent me when you sent me the links, I'm like, you know, this is a niche. There's a niche here. There's a niche here, and I haven't seen too many podcasts that maybe it's just me not searching for it, but I haven't seen like that are great, or we're having like real authentic conversations about how it really feels to get leads, how it really feels to do real estate marketing, these things. And I just appreciate the conversation, and because you looked into Conrad and you liked it, and we're so early, and I kind of feel the same way about what you're building and this podcast. Who knows? You never know. Why do you do this podcast? What's your goal with it?
I just really enjoy podcasts. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Who doesn't like to talk, right?
It's not even like liking to talk. It's more the people that I meet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like talk to cool, good people. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, like good conversations.
It's also an excuse to DM people that are like 15 levels ahead of me.
That's smart. That's actually like my whole game plan. When I was like 14 years old, building basketball, I was actually I didn't even realize that I could have built a business from my Twitter basketball account. Instead, I was just trying to make connections in the basketball world. But it's actually that's good. You actually learn a lot when you have that type of like internet mentality. Go DM people, like Gary Vee type of stuff.
Dude, it's so funny. This is actually my second YouTube channel. My first one was a CSGO YouTube channel.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I actually had sponsorships when I was 14.
You were better
for CSGO.
Yeah, you're way better than me. I did play video games and record them and upload them. I feel like everyone has that like secret, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have that secret YouTube channel for video games when they were like 12. That was like...
It's so weird because like looking back on it, I learned so many things from it that I'm so thankful I did.
I feel the same way, all jokes aside.
Yeah.
You learn a lot. You
said you had the Twitter account. What were you doing on there?
So that was basketball. I got really, really obsessed with basketball. Probably like, I don't know, when I was maybe 12, 13. One of these, I got really obsessed with basketball. And I think, I can't tell you perfectly what I was thinking at the time, but I think I wanted to find a way to do what you just said, like talk to people that are like 15 levels above me, or like how am I going to get in this camp? How am I going to play on this team? Like, how can I get in there right now? It's so hard. So I think I just started posting things on Twitter, and this is when Twitter allowed you to just follow people. Like there was no like follow limits, and that follow strategy is old now, but at the time it wasn't old though. You have like a nice profile picture, a nice name, and you follow someone, they're going to click on your page. And then the key is like, you have to have good stuff on the page that actually wants to keep them. But like nowadays, I feel like it's harder to do follow back, and there's a limit. So I would just post something, follow a bunch of people. The ones that follow back, I'll still just keep them, whatever. I wasn't trying to be cool and like have no followers. And it just became like this community where I would post like advice, and I have a habit to turn my notifications off to this day because of that page. We was getting so many retweets. But I used it for connections though. I kind of forgot. You got me remembering this phase, so I kind of went on a rant. I kind of forgot what you asked me. But yeah, that's what I used it for.
No, yeah, dude, I love that. Twitter is a special platform though.
It's something different, right? It's something different about it. I think you could get into the niches. You can get into the niches really good there. Like the niches of the different communities and different things you can be a part of. People don't realize like their algorithm most of the time is what they kind of are telling the platform they want to see. So you're seeing things you want to see. In someone's world, Twitter might be one thing, and in another person's world, Twitter's an entirely different app. That's how different people experience it. But you need so much content.
I think it's so funny. All the social media platforms are just different variations of each other. Right. Like Instagram is Gen Z Facebook. LinkedIn is sanitized Facebook.
Sanitized.
And then I don't even know how to describe like Twitter or X anymore. It's just
Snapchat.
Snapchat's just Messenger at this point, at least for my generation.
Yeah, I don't use. How old are you?
I'm 20.
Oh, 20, nice. You're going hard. I'm 26.
Okay. Yeah.
I know a generation you're talking about. You're just a grinder. You're also like you're just a grinder, and you know the social networks. You know how they work. You probably tried them all. Am I right on that?
I'm not touching Facebook. I haven't tried Facebook yet.
You can't really. It's already over. Like you touching Facebook, it's over. You would have done that a while ago. You're not doing that And 20-year-old is not touching Facebook right now. But you never know. Sometimes like certain things hit on certain networks. That's the reason why they still exist.
I've heard Facebook is really, really good for real estate.
Yeah.
I didn't have an account until like 3 months ago. Or if I did, I forgot the password.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I've never really experimented too much running ads, obviously, but like organic Facebook. Yeah, no, I haven't done it at a high
I've heard
level.
So one of the real estate agents by me is a KW agent. His entire strategy is Facebook, and he just makes posts about the listings. He does like funny giveaways. Like for Valentine's Day, he dressed up in what was it? It was like a tank top. He had imagine like a 40-year-old, somewhat hairy dude with a beard and then like hard ears.
It's
And he
smart
was doing a
though.
giveaway. I know.
Yeah.
He got so many leads from it. And then to sell listings, because he does a little bit higher end, he just boosts the posts.
Yeah, you see? And I think, it's not even that I'm here trying to like talk bad about Facebook because I haven't used it. I'm probably the dumb one for not helping people use it because who's buying houses most of the time? I mean, I don't have the actual stat on top of my head. I kind of forgot it, but it's usually 40, 50 in this range. Maybe you get young people too, but the point is that there are enough 40, 50-year-olds on Facebook, maybe in the local community group. Now I'm a realtor in that group and I'm posting funny things. I might not use Facebook. Maybe my mom or dad is scrolling through Facebook and they see it and they like this realtor. That's a client. And then you just rack up the clients. I mean, how many clients do you even need to be like super successful? You get a neighborhood and you're good. You're probably more than good with the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. The other crazy part is, especially with like one thing that I teach, is if you do the follow-up right, because you build almost like I'd say it like this way, but like a cult-like following.
Yeah.
In real estate.
Yeah, I mean, follow-up is everything.
Yeah, if you're that community, so you go Facebook, my favorite. Are you familiar with what DM setting is?
DM settings?
Yeah, DM setting.
No, the DM setting? No, I actually don't know what it is.
Okay, so when someone adds you on Facebook, you DM them right away about something on their profile.
Okay, yeah,
and
I've
all
done
you
something
do
like that.
Is go for a cup of coffee. You don't pitch them real estate, nothing, because it builds like 50 people that will always vouch for you.
No, I saw that you posted something like that, and then I saw your script that you showed me, and it said something like that, and I really like that. That's why I want to do this podcast and stuff, because I really like your philosophy on it. You're pushing people to be authentic, and it's not just like, hey, do you want to buy this house now? No, it's like, let's go get a coffee. And like you said before, it's also on the professional that you're working with to go do that and actually meet the person. But most people are happy to do that, like go meet the person, actually have a conversation with them, and become memorable.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun too.
Yeah, right? You meet people and all these different things. I agree. I totally agree with your philosophy on it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm assuming you want to send people to Conrad. So where can people go to get Conrad?
So go to www.joinconrad.ai. Conrad is CONRAD. So that's joinconrad.ai. Go there, read about Conrad a little bit. From that page, you can download the iOS app, or you're going to go straight to theconradapp.com to sign up. And Android app is coming soon, but Androids could use it on the web. If you're a real estate professional, licensed real estate professional, it's a free network. Realtors are loving it out of their mouths, not mine. And why not try it out, right? We genuinely believe that we're going to build the best network in real estate because we're focused on just adding value for the real estate professionals and listening to their feedback in order to build this.
I love it.
And thank you for the conversation, by the way.
Thank you. I'll link it in the description too.